Hi everybody. So I just started a couple of minutes early. So just make sure all the technology is working because as well as the Zoom, we're streaming on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, and it looks like it should be working, which is pretty cool. I just have to okay, so everyone. Just going to enable the chat, guys, in Zoom. Okay. We'll just give it a couple of more minutes. I'll wait till the top of the hour. And then we'll get going with the stocks predator. Hi, Richard. How you doing? Hi, Otis. Yeah, it's been a long day, a long development day for me today. So, although I did play golf with my wife this morning, so I played 9 holes in a par three with my wife to get some fresh air early this morning. Okay, so we're at the top of the hour, and really we want to be looking at our stocks predator and sort of going over some of the functionality and how powerful it is. So this was born out of my book. It was published in 2023, Confluence, Not Coincidence. So confluences in any type of instrument, when they're strong, it basically identifies the direction of the flow and the strength of that directional flow. So if we can put confluences together in a stock and scan for them, we can find some very, very hot stocks. Whether you're options trading and want to get in the puts and go short, or if you're investing, swing trading, longs, going long on stocks, this is just as good. So everybody can see the platform. Just let me know in the chat and make sure everybody can see it okay. So quick look around. We have a charting package on the right-hand side, which has 3 of our indicators in so far for xBrat. We have the xBrat algo, the roller coaster, and the bias depth heat map. These are on that chart purely because this is what we're scanning for with confluence. Okay. On the left-hand side, on the end of day scanner, you can see 4,922 stocks, ETFs. There's a few cryptos in there as well and everything like that, but this is swing trading, so it's scanning a lot of stuff. Okay, and it's not just US stocks, German stocks, Indian stocks, UK stocks, Canadian stocks. It's looking for the most tradable ones and then giving us results every single day. So on this end of day scanner now, we've got loads of all the stocks have been scanned, and we can see these traffic lights on the right hand side. So to begin with, we're in the advantage membership at the moment. So we've got 3 traffic lights. We are adding more when we add to the premium, and I'm going to introduce Daniel in a little while, who is my partner on this venture and project. But I'm just going to go through a little bit later, because when it comes to questions, Daniel might be able to answer some of the more technical things. So with this confluence, if we go to the filter here and say, I'm just interested in the longs, okay? If I filter that to all green, these are all the stocks that came in last night that have 3 out of 3 confluences that look really strong for a buy. It doesn't mean you should go and buy them all, okay? There's still some work to do, and I've made some videos already on that, and some of the users that have just come on board have watched those videos, and there's some simple steps to follow. Before I do that, though, the videos that I've made over the last week or so since launch, I'm going to look at those. These are my live swing trades, okay? Now, So these are the stocks that I'm in. Eaton, I made a video on this on Friday when the markets were closed for a long position. It was my stocks pick of the week, and it came from that scan where I had 3 out of 3. Okay. When I went 3 out of 3, we had, if I zoom in a little bit, we had the green arrow, which is a roller coaster signal. Then we had a 5-star buy signal. And at the same time, if you look vertically down on those hashed lines, hopefully you can see it, the quality is that good, we can see all 6 time frames were green on the buy step heat map for that 5-star buy. So the entry was just above there, the stock market order at 1464. Everybody see that, especially on Zoom? Okay. Where is that today? So it closed yesterday at 1504. If we just go to the live chart now, we're at 1567. It's actually made a high of 1627 today. So this has gone even further. Okay, this is the live chart. Okay, this was the chart that we do the scans and get everything on. So right now we entered this at 1462, and we're over $16 right now. This was my stocks trade of the week. Okay, this is the one that I made a video on Friday from those results overnight on the Thursday. Let's have a look at a couple of London stocks that are on my list. Again, I made these videos a little while ago. It just is the same thing. We had a green arrow for the roller coaster, and then I actually went early. This was on my almost ready list, and I think I called it early movers list because we went all green and then we went long. Okay. Marks and Spencers as well, a UK stock. Again, we had this quite early, but we had a daily resistance zone up above. So my call on the video was let it come and test this. Then once it tested the resistance at this point, all 6 time frames were green on the buy step heat map. That was our last piece of the jigsaw. We've got to make sure we go long when it breaks that daily resistance, and this is where we are right now. So very, very good. We look at HWKN, another stock that I made a video about here. Again, we get this quite early, this roller coaster. I'm really looking when we get the 5-star buy, we've still not got 6 out of 6 on this buyer's depth heat map. However, when we get the 6-star buy and we try and break out of this channel, we get all 6. So just above the close, that was the entry. Really, really simple. There's a few more on here. Walmart is another. This was slightly earlier. So again, triangle for the 6-star buy, all 6 time frames green, away we go. This actually, if it was an options play, I would look for around about $112-ish for that sort of play. So these are the ones that are currently live, and they're all in profit. Okay, even in Indian stock Titan. Okay, I put this on an Indian stock group the other day, and this is where we are right now with that. Because we have the confluence, it gives us confidence to take those positions. So I just want to go back and go to the current end of day scanner. I then want to go to just make that a little bit bigger. I'm going to go to confluence, and I'm going to go 3 green. Okay, so this is basically everything that came out overnight that are all in confluence. Now, one of the great features of this particular platform is we can add dynamic watch lists. So if we get in this state with this filter, or 3 out of 3, I can then build a dynamic watch list. That watch list will update every single day. And I've already made one here. It's called 3 Confluence Bull. Okay. So those same stocks are on my 3 Confluence Bull. But what will happen is a little after the scan's been made, your dynamic watch list will be updated. And then the system will email you that that dynamic watch list with all the new stocks in there as well. So you'll get an email every single day, okay? And you will get an email with the new potential stocks, okay? It's just to remind you to get back on the dashboard and get some work done. So these are the ones that we've got in right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through some of those and perhaps do some of the work that I would normally do to help. So I'm just going to make this the chart a little bigger here. Oh, by the way, some users asked us to add these columns beta. So anything under 1, it's not performing as well as the stock market. Everything 1 or above, it's performing as good as the stock market, if not more. Okay, that's the simplified version. And then 52-week high in there where we are percentage-wise to that. So we've added those. Now, it's quite a quick call to look at some of these and see where they are. So there's quite a lot of room up above here. It's quite a cheap stock. But the first thing I do is I take it from the daily to the weekly. This is my first action, okay? On the weekly time frame, I need to look for major support and resistance on the weekly. Now, this is simple. It's like dot to dot. You're joining the pivots. Where we see this pivot here high and it comes back down again. And then we tested this same sort of area, this zone of price, and we can see we've recently tested that again. That is a weekly resistance zone. We're going to draw a rectangle and we're going to join those dots, okay? I put these 2 pivots in as well because these were rejections. Now, when I draw this on this chart and I go back to daily, it will still be on the daily chart, obviously. Support-wise, we do have really strong support. We can see these pivots over on the left. And we see there. So this is where we are right now. Are we in a bullish channel for this stock? No. So I can't draw a channel in. So I'm going to go back to the daily. Now, I can see at this moment in time, there is no trade for me because I'm going to go into that resistance and the likelihood it's going to come back down again. However, I could add this to a watch list to watch it to see if it can go above and break through that weekly resistance. If at that stage, all 6 time frames are green, I may get a 6-star buy. Remember, 5-star is 11 out of 12 points of control for a confluence strategy. 6 out of 6 is 12 out of. So if I get some more momentum to test this and we go 6 out of 6 on here, this could be a really good stock to look at. It's got to close above this zone though. So if I right click on there, I can add it to my early mover list. Okay. So that's added. You see the success there. That's added to my early mover list. Don't need to do any work with it right now. Remember, a stock is swing trading or investing in stocks is not something that you need to make immediate action on. You need to look at this once a day at the end of every day or the beginning of every day. A daily time frame is the purest time frame for stocks because the stock market has an open, a close, a high, and a low. You put all those candles together, you understand how it's behaving. Let's have a look at the looker one. Banff. Actually, that's a place in Canada. Anyway. Let me just. Okay. Let me just check that again. Just need to reload some of these. I've got. Did I take off heat map? No. Let me just reload this a second. So this is a web-based platform, standalone. Okay,
Are we missing the heat
here.
map, Paul?
Yeah, the heat map's disappeared.
Oh, just try to go to indicators. Or you can. There's 2 things you can do. Actually, click the reset button below the chart, which will reset everything to the defaults.
There we go.
Or you just go to indicators on the chart and just re-edit manually. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I may have reduced it by mistake.
Yeah.
Thanks, Daniel.
No worries.
Okay, so we go to Banff now. We got a 6-star buy, all 6 time frames, and a roller coaster. Let's have a look on the weekly. So our next real major pivot is here. Is it linear support and resistance? Let's look left. No. Okay, this is a really good growth stock. You see here on the weekly, when we get confluence, simple rule, green triangle, 6-star buy, all 6 green. Look at that move. That was a winner because the trailing stop comes all the way up here. It pulls back. We get a 5 and a 6-star buy. We get a green triangle, all 6 green, long trade. This trade was in 18th of October 21, and it came out in July 2022. Okay, this one was a break even. This is obviously on the weekly. What I'm going to be looking at really is I'm just going to be putting that there. There's a lot of clustering of pivots at that point. I just want to zoom out to see where we are on a longer term trend. So I'm going to use the drawing tool here, and I'm going to go for the parallel channel, and I'm just going to put that in there. Actually, that's quite a wide channel. Very wide and not quite right. So let's just go there and there. Okay, so we've got a lot of points touching on the top. This big pivot here, a load of clustering on the bottom here, this pivot here. So this is just, again, trading technical analysis shouldn't be too difficult. It's joining the dots. We've gone up to the weekly time frame and we join the dots. Let's go back to the daily now, and we can see in reality, every time we get a 6-star buy and we get the roller coaster and we get the confirmation, we do get nice swing trades for this on the daily. I would say there isn't a great deal trade here at the moment. We're at 116 now, that's 130. The risk reward isn't great there, so I bin it. You know, I don't go. BBVA in Spain, that's a very gappy stock because it's a Spanish stock, but on the US stock market, not a great one to trade at this moment in time. We have a reasonably good bit of fresh air up there on BCML. Okay, so let's go again. First thing we do, go to the weekly. Let's identify if we've got some fresh air. Let's just put that there. Again, I'm joining the dots of these pivots. That's my low point. There's my high point with these two. There's my dots. Let's go back to the daily. Let's see if there's enough room for this to play. Okay, that's our next, that's really sort of our target, around about that $30. If we were to go now, where's alive? It's come down to 27.07. So it has moved up today. It's come back down again. I think I'd wait for the close, but again, not a great deal of distance between there. The ones that I showed you earlier had a lot of room to move, and that's what I call fresh air. It's very important that we have fresh air to trade into. So I'm just going to go through here again. Quite a gappy stock. Looks like there's going to be some room up there though. So let's have a look at this. It has gapped up with earnings most likely. So I'm just going to put that up there. Again, it's a very narrow window. It's in quite a good trend right now, actually. The thing is, we've had a little bit of Trumpiness here where it's come back out, it's come back in again. I'm just going to extend that channel. If it moves back in, I'll be very interested in this. So we do have some good fresh air. We did break out of this channel recently, but we have a green arrow for the roller coaster. We have a 6-star buy, and we have all 6 time frames green. Really, I would probably be looking for an entry in and around 95.71, depending on where the price action closes today. Again, I'm just going to color that green and get some dash lines in there. So that's where my entry will be. This probably would be a better options trade with a target of around about $118. Where are we live with this? 96.98. No, it's gone up already. Again, I had this first thing this morning before the markets opened. That's the sort of entry I would have had at that point. We're already got the markets open now. I've missed the boat on that one. Let's see. Let's just go and filter by beta greater than 1. Okay. So these are ones, oh, CAPR 4.67. Wow. Okay. Let's have a look at this. That's why. Look at this. Okay. This was a trade in September last year where we got the roller coaster, got a 5-star buy, got a 6-star buy. We went all green, and that trade went from $4.71 to the highs of $22.84. These are the sort of highs we'll be looking for again. This was a good catalyst. When was the earnings? Earnings date is on 12th of the 5th. We can see that there. So there's a bit of time yet. Let's go to the weekly. This is where I want to be. That's major resistance. However, I've got some clustering at here as well. So I need to be cautious. Let's go back to the daily time frame now. Okay, so again, I'd be very reluctant to actually get this stock until it clears this sort of point. But I'd like to trade this 16.76 all the way to $22. That's a good move. And I'd be very tight with a swing trade type stock with underneath here. So this was going to go onto my early movers list. So I'm just going to add it to my early movers. Okay. Let's have a look at, do I recognize any of these? Eaton, that was on my, trade of the week. Let's have a look at a German stock again. So stocks traders, even if they're in the US, get an interactive broker account. I've got no ties with them, but you can trade stocks around the world, Indian stocks, German stocks, UK stocks. Why stick to just US stocks? Get that portfolio spread a bit. A little bit of risk elsewhere doesn't hurt, okay? Just saying. So German stock, CTS, let's have a look at the weekly. It's not a bad channel that we're in here. Again, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do lots of live sessions to teach people how to identify these types of things and use a drawing tools. It's pretty simple. It's like dot to dot trading. Okay. Just move that down a little bit. Okay. There. Okay. And then we'll get this pivot high in here. And then we'll go back to the daily. A little bit of room, not a great deal, but okay. Options traders here would probably be better with $108 strike price. And I would probably only look at 1 month out maximum for that sort of thing. For an investment type of view, we have got a good, strong growth channel here. We can see when we get trades towards the bottom of this channel or additional entries for our investment, they have really good moves. Okay. This one's a little later in the channel, but there's no reason why it can't have a good move. And again, these resistance zones are sometimes there to be broken when we've got a good, strong trending stock. And I'm saying this trend has started probably back in 2022. So this has withstood a lot of crap that's gone off in the world. It's a good, strong stock, German stock. I'm just going to put that to my early mover list as well. I want to look at that in more detail tomorrow. MFH 10.47 on beta. Okay, that's because we do have really good moves here. Got a bit of resistance up there. Just trying to find one as we go through. Remember, I put the beta filter. I like this. There's a long way for this to go. You can see where we've got momentum building. It's the confluence. So it's about the tributaries feeding the river. We've got the green arrow from the green triangle from the roller coaster. 5, then 6-star buy. Then we've gone all green. This is momentum building, more tributaries feeding that river, and that directional flow is increasing. So this is really, really interesting. So I'm just going to go and do my normal thing. I'm going to go to weekly. I'm going to have a look. Oh, wow. Okay. So we do have a pivot up here. Does that? Yes. Okay. So again, when we're looking left, we've got to look far enough back to see where our major resistances are. Okay. So that's a very wide zone here, but I am going to take that in just there. Okay. And I'm just going to put these highs in as well, just to give me a reference point. Let's go back to the daily now. Oh, we've got a lot of room. This is a really great trade. This needs to go in soon. Pulse Biosciences, reasonably cheap stock. Where are we live at the moment? 18.25. Okay, so I'd probably have a $19 entry. That would be very sensible. Okay, so I'm going to wait for the close today. This will go onto my main watch list. Okay, success, it's been added. Really, this is the one with lots of fresh air to this first resistance. If it can break that, there's a lot of room up to $48, and that's sort of the price we'll be looking at. This is a really strong stock. And we're on the beta, we're 1.88. This looks pretty good, actually. So I'm probably going to be, depending on where the close is tonight. Oops. Let's move that down. I'm probably going to be looking at a stock market order to go through 19 bucks. Like a 19.04, probably slightly less, 90. So I'm really interested in that. So one of the advanced tools that you can use here is work out your risk to reward if you are going to be trading this. And again, do lots of live sessions, live streaming with all of this for people. But if we look at this fib extension here, this is a one click on the bottom. That's where we'd have our stop below all this danger. Click on the entry, just move that along a bit. So we've got at least 1 to 1, right into the middle there, we're about 1 to 1.3. Very, very, very good. So let's just remove that, keep the chart clean. This is good. I'm going to look at this. This is going to be, I'm going to be entering this. This is a really good stock. It's quite cheap as well. Initial target price 26. I'm going to look at the behavior. And again, our users are going to see me live at least once a week, if not more. And if this goes live, I'm going to update them with what I'm going to do. Depending on the behavior, I may look to see if I can push through there. So I've already added that one. Let's see what else we've got here. Financial services, SUPV. We'll look at one more. A little bit of room up there. Those highs 1977. Let's just look on the weekly on this. Very strong growth since December 2023. That's when my book came out. Somebody obviously read my book and got in that trade. Wow, it's got some major highs up here. Might get a nosebleed going up there. Is this price been tested before where we had that return? No. When's earnings on this? 20th of May. Okay. Just going to put that on there. That's one pivot. Okay. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a very strong resistance. You know, that most likely was earnings that's made that catalyst. Okay. So if we get a good earnings on the 20th of May, that'll run. So let's go through and look on that on the daily. So we're green, green, green. All good. Last one failed. Not a lot of room, but I liked it to close above 20. I'd rather buy at 20 than take the risk now and then let it run all the way to $32. So that's going to go on my main watch list as well. There. Okay. So I've just concentrated on longs right now because most people, when they think about stocks, they think about investing in a specific stock or swing trading it for a month, 2 months when it runs and everything like that. I'm just going to take off that and I'm going to go to my 3 confluence bear list. Okay. There's only 3 stocks out of 4,922 that are confluence for a bear move, but they shouldn't be ignored purely because options traders like to trade short. Okay. I do mention in my book, actually, shorting to feed the investing pot. So your investing pot is one pot of money. If you've got another smaller pot and using leverage like CFDs, options, and shorting a stock, and then buying that stock when it starts to move back up again, you're using free money. But that's the simplistic version. I do talk about it in the book. So let's have a look at some of these potential shorts. Okay. That's early on. Are we near the recent lows? We are. Okay, so if we're not going to blindly follow, we do see when we get these shorts, the reasonably good trades. However, even on the daily time frame, I can see there's a hell of a lot of support down here. Okay, that's not good for me. There's no room for this to move. Yes, when things go down, gravity takes hold and it goes fast, but it's not been below that and it's bounced off there for quite a while. So that's not of interest. So it doesn't take long to go through these 3. This has potential. Okay, we've got a 6-star sell. We are all 6 time frames in the green. I think if I was interested in a short here, I'd want to clear this clustering here. So about a 794, probably not a great short trade for stocks, for options traders, because it's very cheap stock. However, there's quite a bit of room down to this next real support here. If it was available on options or CFDs, I would be looking to short this stock here. That's a good move. $8 to 620. So that's a reasonably good move there. And then if that previous support holds and it starts to move up and I get my confluence, I will use that money from that profit from shorting that stock to buy some of it. Okay, because most likely we can see what's happened every time it's hit this sort of price. Okay, so if we can short with leverage, make the money, bounces off, we get a good signal, we go long. Let's have a look at this last one, healthcare, UNH. Most healthcare is going up at the moment. Ooh, this has had some really bad news. Would it make up its all-time lows right now? For these sort of plays, oh no, actually, we are down $200 or more. Let's have a look at this on the weekly. I need to do some more work on this. We've broken, interestingly, we've broken major support. Just, okay? Where's the next support? In reality, we're looking around about here. So I'm just looking at, if I zoom in a little bit, this pivot pulled down, okay? We went into here, we came back down again. A lot of clustering on this weekly until finally we pushed up, came down to test, game up, come down to test, then go. So this is a strong zone of price around about $300. And we've just broken support. This would be a good options trade because this is an expensive stock and it will be available on options. This, believe you me, is a good call to go short if it breaks 415, something like that. So we'll look at this live right now. 433. We're at 433. Okay. So again, when we talk about anything, whether we're going to go long and invest, we needed it to go through a start point. So we've got confluence, the scanners picked this up, we've got lots of fresh air, everything looked good. We need a start point, and it's got to be below the recent low. Okay. So this really $414. If it pushes through that, we set our trade up ready to go, and that's when we would short that particular trade. So have I got a watch list for shorts yet? Because again, this is new. So I'm just going to create a watch list. Potential. I can look at this each day then, you see. Potential shorts. Create. Okay, so that's in that one. I've created the watch list. So now I want to do is add that to my potential shorts. Okay, so that's there. If I come out of there to end of day scanner, take the filters off, go to my watch list here, potential shorts, there's UNH. Okay, we go to my early mover list. There's my early mover list that we talked about earlier. So I've got my watch list. I've got my dynamic watch list that will alert me if there's a new stock with 3 out of 3 for bear, 3 out of 3 for bullish moves, potential buys, pending buy roller coaster. This is the one where we've only got one green. So this is really, really early, but some of these could be, go on that early mover list. We go to, let's see if we can find a good name. Let's go to 100 and let's go down. Doge, crypto. Let's have a look at a bit of crypto, shall we? Wow. Okay. So those that think it's only for stocks, look at these confluences here. This one here, 16th of October 2024, you'd have bought it at this point, and look at that move. This is huge. Let's measure that move. $281%. Do not ignore confluence, whether it is with crypto, stocks, whatever it is, futures. Do not, got some ETFs in here. Look at some of these ETFs. Not a great deal of fresh air, but if it can clear 27.12, it's going to go to $31. Again, that could be a good, and again, that's an iShares MSCI Brazil. We've only got one green at the moment. This is the green triangle, so that's the roller coaster. What we're looking for now is momentum to build to this, to get a 6-star buy for all of this to go green. And most likely, if that happens, I would be really interested if it broke this sort of level. Let's just take that to the weekly. Yes, so this is where we need to be getting through, okay? Just here. You see, it bounced off here before, it came through, bounced off, eventually broke through, tested it, came back down again. And that's all it is. All you're doing is joining the dots where we get those major decision points. So this could be good because in reality, we do have some great highs up here. That's where we want to be, $36. We do have a pivot here, but we can't join the dots with anything else. So what I'm going to do is go on the daily. I like this to go in my early movers, because if I can get it to break these highs here around 27.22, I'd be more willing to buy some of this ETF, because it's not going to come back down from here. It's most likely going to go and test that $36, and that's a really great increase. I mean, if we look at that, that's a 30% increase, so that's really good. So I'm just going to add this to my early mover list. Okay, so a lot of stocks investing and trading is getting a powerful scanning tool like this with specific strategy in mind. This is confluence. Okay, so confluence is all about, this is early on, this is one tributary feeding the river. Okay, we're waiting for a second tributary to feed the river, so it starts to flow a little faster, and then a third. That point, then we should see enough directional flow and the strength in that directional flow to push through here. That's when I'd be interested. This is a skill. The dashboard is really easy to use, but we are starting the community on this on Discord. And when you come across something like this, share your screenshot. Community will help, and I will help. I will do live sessions at least once a week. Okay, so we can actually really help people understand what's going off and just give them some very simple pointers. Technical analysis does not need to be complicated. Okay, the hard work is already done by the scanning tool and identifying confluence. Okay, the next bit is literally joining the dots, making sure there's fresh air. If there's no fresh air, we don't go. Okay, if there is fresh air and we can see momentum building on an early mover like this, once it breaks here, that's when we're interested. There's not much else to it. Let's go down a little further and have a look at these potential early movers. German stock there. Let's have a look at hot DE. Not a lot of movement up. There's not a lot of fresh air up there. EDLC. Let's have a look at this ETF. Ooh. I like this one. Let's go and have a look at the weekly. Large cap digital currencies, ETF. Okay. Have a look at that weekly. Reasonably new ETF, like a lot of the digital currencies, but should never be ignored. That is our first port of call. We do have these highs here. That was when crypto took a really big rip. But this sort of thing would give you exposure to crypto without actually physically buying a coin. This is large cap digital currencies ETF. Okay, so this is it's not exactly a safe bet, but it doesn't it exposes you to lots of different cryptocurrencies and ETF, and these people that manage these ETFs, which is a fund, are clever people, and most of the time they get it right. So let's go to the daily here. There's a lot of room here already. We can see actually we're printing 2. This will be 2 out of 3 tomorrow. This could be a reasonably good buy here. There's a lot of fresh air. And what will happen is, if I can find another example here. So once we're in this sort of move, we start to print what we call a trailing stop. You see this line here where the 2 different colors are. In fact, Daniel, if you just take a note, we can actually change that. If we just go on here, I actually prefer default purples, believe it or not. So if I go to roller coaster here, I can change that to my preferred purples. We'll go light purple there. Click OK. So we can see this. What will happen is we've got enough room there. If that keeps going, we'll see that print all the way up here. So once that comes through that original entry, that's locking in profit. And that's what we do with something like this. There's a reasonable amount of room to that next, but we always keep that tight stop locking in profit all the way. Actually going to put that on my early movers list, as if I'm going to add that to my main watch list. Because I was looking for another crypto ETF, so that was pretty good. Okay, I'm going to look at one more, FBiz. Early days, but again, when we look at past behavior, we get full confluence, it goes. We get confluence, it doesn't go, it doesn't take the stop out, eventually makes a profit. Get full confluence, it goes. This behaves very, very well. Go again, going to do my normal thing, go to weekly. I'm going to have a look at these highs here. It's quite a strong sort of channel as well that we're in here. Again, this is a skill, and I don't mind teaching that in our live sessions. It's not difficult to master. I'm looking at all these here. Look at that. And then we touch the top one there. That's our channel. Okay. It's quite a wide channel. So we've got these two trusses on here. I would probably make that slightly thinner. In fact, no, because the center line's good here and all this clustering here. So this is the channel we've got right now. We do have major support down here. Okay, so I'm going to join. So also in my book, and I keep plugging my book because I'm very proud of it, we talk about the confluence of where linear support meets non-linear support. This junction here is very strong, where it turned back down again. We can't ignore that in the future, and we can see here these tops. So this is a really strong support. We've not got a lot of resistance up above because we just had the one pivot really. So as long we could trade in this channel. So we go back to the daily, and we can see we've got a lot of potential in this all the way up to the top of this channel. If we take it out until sort of end of June, we've got around $60 in there. This has got quite a bit of fresh air, but at this moment in time, it's an early mover until I get another signal. So I'm going to add that to my early mover list. Okay. Right, so I've waffled on quite a lot. I do get excited about this because this saves a lot of time. Okay, so if I just go back to the daily scanner and take all the filters off, and we just okay. So in the chat, wherever you are, we've got quite a few watching on YouTube right now, or in the Zoom or wherever you are. Just in your chat, if you've got any questions about this, please feel free. If you've got no questions, you know, I can do a little bit more. I will introduce Daniel briefly in a minute because we've worked on this project together. So Daniel and I have probably known each other nearly 10 years now. He is an extremely talented developer. He originates from Germany, but actually lives in Canada, in my favorite city in Canada, Montreal. We've actually met in person. The latest time was in Dubai, which we obviously came together to discuss this project and how we could move it forward. And his team has done an amazing job. Really, this is like nothing else. It's fast. The scanning works, and we're going to build more onto this. So keep an eye. Sometimes Daniel will be on some of these webinars, more to do with functionality or anything else. His team recently added the beta and the 52-week high. What they're working on now for our premium package is the next two traffic lights. The next two traffic lights will be unusual options activity and insider activity. So our starting point would be 3 out of 5. But if you get 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5, that means you're just not getting technical confluence, you're getting fundamental and technical confluence together. So really, really strong types of opportunities. Obviously, his team will have to work on that. It's not going to be a quick thing. He's actually worked miracles just recently. We've added Indian stocks as well, for example. So I can just take that off a second. We go to country here. Indians. There we go. So these are recently added Indian stocks. So, you know, we did have one which was Titan, I think it was. This Titan is one of the ones that are actually in right now, and that came up as full confluence a while ago. I actually posted this in some Indian stock trading groups recently, so that's having a really good move now. But also we could search for dot L. Oops, let's take the country filter off. So .L is London stocks, FTSE stocks, okay? All of these FTSE stocks that we've got in there right now as well, and they're scanned every day. We've actually, HSUK London ETF has actually got full confluence. Where are we with this on the weekly? UK Sustainable Equity. It's done well since launch. We've just really just tested this support recently. This looks for long term pretty good actually. We are through the next weekly resistance here. We can again, I'll teach you how to do this, but it's very, very simple. Look, bounces off, bounces off, bounces off, bounces off the top. That gives me my upper bound, my lower bound. It's just absolutely rocketed through there, okay? Just because these are the all-time high doesn't mean it won't go any higher. Go back to the daily, we have roller coaster of the triangle, 6-star buy, and 6 out of 6 green. I think this is worth a punt, absolutely. I'm just going to add this to, where are we? HSUK. Why can't I find it? There it is. So I'm going to add that to my main watch list and do some work on that because I think that is worth adding to our portfolio. Any more 3s out of 3s there? We've got 2 out of 3. Marks and Spencers, I'm already in that. 2 out of 3 on HLN healthcare. Let's have a look. It's quite an expensive stock. But again, we can look at those. We can look at .D. So these are our German stocks here. Again, lots of potential opportunities there. And we've got a 3 out of 3 with EVD. That would have come on our daily scanner. We've already done some work on that. Okay. So this potentially has some room up to that sort of point. There's not a great deal of fresh air. So again, stocks Predator. So where can you get it? Now, there is a special offer right now. So, and I'm going to bring the website over. I'm going to explain it a little bit. So, stockspredator.com. Okay, it's not hard to forget. So, when we properly launch this, we will have our premium version, which will be around $1,700 a year or $170 a month. We have our VIP version, which will be around about $2,500 a month because it's got auto harmonics in there. It's got the slingshot, it's got Elliott wave, it's got everything. Okay. We even have a really cool strategy in there for range breakout on earning. So really, really cool. But right now, the advantage is $1,000 for the year. Or when we do officially launch, because it's a launch party, it will be a little bit after this, $100 a month. Right now, all you can get is the $1,000 for the year, but we have got around about 8 places left. If you do that, you will be grandfathered in if you keep paying that $1,000 a year to the Predator Premium and the VIP for that same $1,000 a year instead of $2,500 a year for there's only 20 places available. Okay, this is a good deal because this is high technology. You claim your beta tester spot now, you join me right at the beginning, and you're there for the whole journey. You will be grandfathered in on that price every year. And by the end of this year, we will have the VIP up and running, okay? And the premium. You will have access to all of that, grandfathered in, okay? So please take advantage of that. The link is in the Zoom chat. It's in the Restream, which has gone now to Twitter, Facebook, and on YouTube as well. So please take advantage of this. Get in early. Get part of that beta testing program, because we are launching, but we will then be getting those versions of the premium to our beta testers, of the VIP to our beta testers. So what you see on here on the chart right now, you will have the Elliott Wave Indicator Suite. You will have auto harmonics on that chart. You will have the range breakout, EMA clouds. You'll have the manager. All of our software will eventually be part of the VIP package on this charting software. Really, really cool. And again, we're going to have a lot more scans in there for more confluence. So now is the time to actually get on board. I am going to be doing lots of live streams, but also going to be doing sessions with our users as well. And we'll have a closed group on Discord, and we will be able to share investing ideas, stocks trading ideas, options trading. Somebody has already got this and played that Walmart play with options and made 34% in a couple of days. Okay. So it's very, very strong, and it's all about the community that we build around it as well, because I don't want you to be alone. This is my bread and butter. This is where I first started with stocks in the late 90s. Okay. This strategy that we talk about, the confluence strategy, is what I write about in the book. Confluence, not coincidence. It's very, very important for you to understand how confluence works. When we looked at those early movers, that's one tributary feeding a river. When we get another confluence coming, and that's two tributaries feeding, the strength of that flow gets higher. And then we get a third confluence coming in, that's another flow going into that river, making it flow even stronger. And this is what the scanner scans for every single day. And then you put those dynamic watch lists together, and it emails you the new ones. And it reminds you, okay, I need to go on the dashboard and go in. And this is web-based. So no matter where you are, no matter what machine you're on, it's web-based. Then you open your broker up, put the order on. Very simple. Orders cannot go in through here, okay? But you'll just have your broker, whether it's on an app or on the computer somewhere, and you just, again, you've got time to do this. It's not as if you are day trading. This is swing trading or investing. You've got time to put your orders in and make sure they're right and everything like that. So any questions before we go? It's 9 p.m. here in Dubai. I think I've covered just about everything. I didn't do a slide deck because it's that powerful, it speaks for itself. Any questions before I go?
Paul, maybe just one comment from me. Hey guys,
Yeah.
how's everyone? If you become a beta tester, there's one additional feature that you will get, which Paul didn't mention, but I think it's also important. You will get a voice. So for example, if you would like to see something in the dashboard, which is not there right now, such as, for example, the beta column or the 52-week high percentage, that's something you can bring up to us. If it's doable, we'll be more than happy to implement it. So in some sense, as a beta tester, you can shape the future direction of this dashboard as well. So just one more thing.
That's a really good point, Daniel, because the beta and the 52-week high was actually suggested by some of our early beta testers. So, and we took action and did that really quickly. Also, we are looking for those beta testers. Daniel mentioned it earlier to me, is we're going to be having a can you explain the journaling journaling function?
Yeah, exactly. So we're looking to always improve the dashboard further, even for the advantage version. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna looking at adding trade notes to the dashboard, meaning that you actually can write down or even dictate. There's gonna be a voice feature as well. Dictate your notes, take screenshots of the setup, put them in the notes so you can remember later on, why did I take the setup? What was my rationale? Is it still valid? And so forth. So it's going to be a trade journaling feature built into the dashboard. And you can add trade notes to every single symbol if you wish.
Excellent.
That's
Thank you
that's going to
very
be
much.
coming very soon as well. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. Yeah, I think trade journaling is a lot more advanced than it used to be. For me, I just had loads and loads of books and they're just notebooks and writing it. But this being able to, and it'll be in this settings feature here to enable that journaling. And as Daniel said, you'll be able to journal when you go on a specific stock. It will tie it to that ticker. And if you even add more journaling notes, even 3 months, 6 months later, you start to build up a good picture. And remember, investing or trading in stocks, even if your options trading, is all about understanding the behavior. We can give you a really good start point with those scans for the confluence. And again, we'll be even adding more confluence with the unused options activity. But if it's a stock that keeps coming on and you've traded it and it's been a winner and you're keeping those notes during that time, when it does appear in there again, when you click on it, you can go and check your notes. So this is longer term. You know, I've got a 6 month granddaughter. We're actually starting next month to start to invest for her, okay, with ETFs and things like that. So this is a longer term view for a lot of people. Starting that journaling process right now, in 3 or 4 years' time, when those confluences come back in again, and you understand the behavior of that specific stock, because those will just pop up straight away as soon as you click on that ticker, it will help you make those decisions. So it's a really, really powerful tool and all built into this software. So it doesn't matter whether you're on a beach in the Bahamas or in an office in Dubai or where it is, you click on your computer, you get onto a browser, you log in, you've got it there straight away. And that's really, that's a powerful tool. Okay, so any questions before we go? Anything from you, Daniel?
No, just one thing I say, this is so much fun, Paul, to work on this project. I think this is, in all honesty, I've worked with many traders and educators over the years. We've been in business for a long time, but I really admire the clarity of your approach, Paul, the simplicity to it. I think it's a thing of beauty, where things just come together and they just make sense. And sometimes, if things just make sense, these are the easiest thing to do and implement and to follow. So good stuff, Paul.
Thanks, Daniel. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I try and keep things as simple as possible because I'm getting older and I can't remember as much. So it's always driven me to try and keep things as simple as possible and just have a workflow, a simple workflow in that the scan results come in with 3 out of 3. Let's just nip up to that weekly time frame. Let's join the dots. Let's make sure we've got room to trade into. If we have, then let's start putting a trade plan together for that. And it shouldn't be any more difficult than that. And to be honest, we're going to be adding more and more tools to make it more sophisticated as well. So really, really happy about this. It's been a long time coming. The book was launched in 2023. We're in April 2025 now, but we've finally got the xBrat Stocks Predator, which works with the confluence strategy that I wrote about. So, it's a proud moment, and I just want to push forward now and help as many people as we can with this, with their investing journey and their wealth growth. Okay, so thanks very much, guys. I didn't record it purely because it's live on YouTube. So what we'll do is we'll sort of formally send that link out to people as well over the next couple of days. So thank you very much for turning up. Again, I'm going to try and do a live stream at least once a week. I'm definitely going to do a stocks trade once a week on a live stream. I don't know what time that will be, but I'll definitely do it. Okay, thanks, Terence. Thanks, Richard. Otis, great. Thank you for turning up, guys. I know it's difficult for some people because you're all over the world. For me, it's 9 p.m., but for you guys in the US, it's midday. So there's a lot going on. But thank you very much for turning up. And I'll speak to you all really soon, probably at the weekend when I do my stocks picks of the week. Okay. Cheers, guys. Thank you.